Hey, what's up guys, and welcome to a new video. So today I wanted to make a video just talking a bit about Cerberus because, yesterday there was a big update for anyone who's not aware, and it was a new boss in old school RuneScape, which is called Cerberus, and is a three-headed dog, Hellhound type thing. You can only kill it on Hellhound tasks or on Cerberus tasks if you have Boss Slayer unlocked, and it requires level 91 Slayer to kill, and it's a pretty interesting boss. I was up as soon as the update happened, so I got up around 6 in the morning my time, and turned on the stream as soon as the 10-minute timer happened for the system update. And I was wearing, what was I wearing? I was wearing an Armadyl crossbow, I was wearing Carol's top and Varric's skirt, and I was wearing a Spectral, of course, because since we knew Spectral was going to have some use there. And I ran up in there and camped the Spectral using an ACB and diamond bolts and got my first kill without, I got a kill the first time I tried it, which I was, my immediate reaction was a little bit disappointed because I kind of expected it would be very difficult, but it really isn't too difficult. It just has a couple of mechanics that you have to watch out for, which I guess in hindsight is alright because it is a Slayer boss after all, and if you compare it to Kraken or Thermi, it's more difficult than them at least. Kraken and Thermi are both very, very basic and kind of boring, and it's at least it's not that. So overall, I'd say I do actually like killing the boss. It can be a little bit annoying sometimes because you stand there, you attack it, and just when you look away for a second, then it does one of its specials and kills you before you look back. It's happened to me far too many times because, once you're sitting there for like 5 attacks in a row, then you just get distracted for a second by Twitter or something like that, and you look back and you're dead. But yeah, overall, I mean, it's a boss. It's a pretty good boss, and its drops are crystals that you can attach to best in slot boots to make them even more best in slot boots. So drops a primordial crystal that you can use on Dragon Boost to upgrade it to a primordial boots, which have +5 strength bonus, and they have a bit of accuracy bonus on them, and I think better defense bonuses also than Dragon Boots. And right now, as of making this video, those are going for about 17 mil. So pretty nice amount of money there, but day of release they're going for a lot more than that, or at least for the first few hours. And then drops Pegasian crystal, which can be attached to the Ranger boots to make Pegasian boots, which have, I think, 4 higher ranged accuracy than Ranger boots, and then the Eternal Crystal can be attached to Infinity boots, and it has 3 higher mage accuracy than Infinity boots. And they look really, really cool. They are similar to Glacier boots, if any of you guys remember Glacier boots from, pre-UC/RS3, the Ragefires, Glavens, and Steads. Those are always some of my favorite boots, so it is really nice to see similar style boots in old school, and they look amazing. I think my personal favorites are the Eternal boots. They just look so good. It's like an upgraded version of Infinity boots, and Infinity boots are amazing. So yeah, I like the boss, and I've done about 230 kills so far as of making this video. I've finished my first task last night. I camped the boss for about 11 hours straight on release, and only got about 130-ish kills because it was so crowded. I mean, it was basically just hoping for PID because there were at least like 4 people in every single world for the first like 10 plus hours. But as of today, it's calmed down a little bit. It's still not great. There's still people trying to steal your worlds and stuff, and you kind of have to try to steal other people's worlds. But it's a lot better than it was yesterday, believe me. So yeah, I'm on my second task right now, and I'll be almost 300 KC when I finish this task, and I might get a third task in before I go do some other stuff. I don't know. It is pretty fun, and it'd be nice to get some of the crystals. As far as the boss mechanics, it's really not too complicated. I had it figured out pretty well within the first couple hours of release, and as I said earlier, I did get, like, the first time I tried to kill it, I killed it. I was expecting to die a bunch of times, like the way it was with Solar release and stuff. Like, I was expecting it to be pretty difficult, but it really wasn't too bad at all. So basically, its mechanics are, it has these specters that it summons, and that's where the Spectral Spirit Shield comes into play. So when it summons the specters, it'll like rear up and say Aru, and then it'll summon 3 different specters that come from the River of Souls, and they're each represent a different combat style, and you can tell based on the color of their, like, whatever those things are, like the tendril type things hanging off of them or something, or maybe that's their clothes, I don't know. But yeah, the blue is mage, the green is range, and the red is melee, and they can come in any random order. It doesn't, it changes every single time because it's just RNG based, but they always attack from left to right, and I believe there's 2 ticks between their attacks. So you just have to switch your prayers accordingly to avoid getting hit for damage, and if you don't switch your prayers, then they hit 30 damage each. So it can be pretty devastating if you don't know how to do that properly, and it's pretty easy to die at this boss if you mess up at all. So that's really the only thing that can be a little bit tricky, and once you get it down, it's really not too difficult. The other main thing that the boss does is it says Gur, and then it has these things that spawn on the ground that deal you like 1 damage once per tick. Starting off as 15s if you're standing on the exact spot, and 7s around that spot. So you want to move several squares away at least from any of the little like lava things on the ground, wherever they are, or maybe it's 10. I don't know. Sometimes you get 10, sometimes you get 7, sometimes you get 15s. But yeah, those can take you down pretty quickly if you don't move out of the way in time. And sometimes the boss likes to stack the ground attack with the specters, and you really have to be on your toes, like moving out of the way and switching your prayers in the right timing, which can definitely trip you up at first, like before you get used to it. But other than that, it's pretty much just standing there and poking it with your Hasta. I believe it is weak to stab, but I'm not positive. I asked Ash on Twitter, and he wouldn't confirm because, you know, still very early on in the release, and they don't want to leak too much info about the boss. But yeah, just Bando, Slayer Helm, Hasta, and I was bringing Artie Cloak for most of my kills since the accuracy bonus and also the prayer bonus is nice. Oh yeah, and the other thing about the Spectres, the only thing that the Spectral Spiritual actually does is it halves the prayer drain of the Spectre. So when the Spectres hit you, they also drain your prayer for each one. So if you don't have a Spectral Spirit Shield, they'll also drain 30 prayer points per hit, so a total of 90 prayer points drained if you don't have a Spectral on. And if you do have a Spectral on, then it's halved, so you only take 45 prayer points drained, 15 per Spectral, or 15 per Spectre. So Spectral definitely is useful there, but it's not essential. And I noticed actually on Bodhi's stream, since he doesn't have a Spectral, since he's like an Iron Man basically, what he does is he just leaves his prayer around the 60s, and the first two take off his prayer pretty much, aside from a couple prayer points to switch to the third, and that avoids a lot of prayer drain, which is probably a pretty smart idea. So it'd probably be wise to do that, and even it might be wise to leave your prayer around like 50-ish if you do have a Spectral. I wasn't really bothering because I was just too lazy and just feel like poking the thing and drinking my prayer pots because I'm not an Iron Man and I have plenty of money, so I don't really need to care that much, but probably would be wiser to do that just to conserve a bit of prayer points. But yeah, this is Cerberus. It's pretty cool. I'll definitely have more in-depth information on it in the future. I probably will try to make some kind of guide for it, but I don't want to make this like a guide because I just don't think it's a wise idea to make guides like right on release for something, because there tend to be mechanics discovered and new little things discovered that would be good to have in a guide that would not be included if I tried to make a guide right away and didn't know everything, like didn't know all the information yet. So I just wanted to make a quick video, you know, showing what I've done so far, what I've learned so far, and showing the boss to anyone who isn't able to kill it right now or something like that. But for any of you guys wondering, I have gotten 2 signature drops so far. The first one I got was an Eternal Crystal, and that was on kill 109. No, 107, sorry. Kill 107. I got an Eternal Crystal, and I immediately took it to the G. I did actually attach it to my Infinity Boots, because I wanted to see the Eternal Boots since they're my favorite ones. I wore those around a bit just for, you know, the fashionscape, and sold them after about 5 or 10 minutes. And that was on stream, so it was pretty hype. And those boots sold for 12.57 mil, and the boots, like the Infinity Boots themselves, were going for like 1.5 mil, so in total, I guess the crystal was about 11 mil at that point. And then actually today I got a Pegasian crystal, and that was on kill 209. And that sold in the G for 7.5 mil. I didn't want to attach it to my Ranger boots because it seemed like it was actually a better price at the crystal than to like the Ranger boot plus crystal combined. And the Pegasian boots are probably my least favorite of the 3. They still look sick, but I kind of just like the other 2 better, I guess. But yeah, I guess so far I've made basically 20 mil from those 2 drops. And then I think the average loot per kill for just regular drops is about 20k. So other than that, I've probably made like 4 to 5 mil off of other drops, but I haven't kept good track of those because, you know, drops like runes and stuff like that just go into my rune stacks, and some of the other drops I have kept, but it's not really going to be like an accurate price check if I tried to do that, so I'm not going to bother. But yeah, I did get those 2 drops. My guess is that they are 1 in 128 because they seem pretty damn common. Like, there were a lot of them. Lots of people got them on their first kill, even like there were crystals in the game within 5 minutes of release easily. There are also, I believe the pet is, I'm guessing it's 1 in 3k because that's how rare the other 2 Slayer boss pets are. But I've seen 6 of them so far. I've seen 5 in game, and 1 I saw like somebody actually get it as a drop, which made me very jealous, put that lightly. But yeah, it is a pretty cool looking pet. It's the Hell Puppy, I guess. And it looks similar to Cerberus, but it only has 1 head for the pet. I guess having 3 heads in the pet when it's so small would have just looked awkward or something, I don't know. One other thing that I quickly wanted to mention that I just thought that was kind of funny because I noticed a lot of people doing this while I was there. There in every single world pretty much there are people trying to get the it's single way combat, so whoever gets the first hit basically has the kill. And so many people were bringing like blowpipes, even though they were using melee, or bring like darts or whatever, to try to get the first hit, because it seemed like people think that a faster attack speed weapon is more likely to get the first hit, but that actually is not the case at all. It's completely determined by PID, which is player ID, and that's what determines stuff like that, where like everybody clicks it on the same tick, and only one person can get it. It's based on PID, who actually does get it, and PID is randomized. So having a faster attack speed weapon doesn't actually increase your chances at all, because the delay of weapons doesn't happen until after you hit with them. So like if you hit something with a dart, then 2 ticks later you'll be able to hit the monster again, no matter what you're attacking with. It's not like before you attack it or right as you attack it or anything. So like if you were to hit something with a blowpipe, you could hit it with a Derrick sack 2 ticks later, but you wouldn't be able to hit anything after the Derrick sacks until I think 8 ticks is the delay on Derrick sacks. Even if you wield a blowpipe right after you hit with the Derrick sacks, you still won't be able to hit for quite a bit of time, like the normal Derrick sacks delay. So it doesn't matter whether you have a fast or slow attack speed weapon. I just thought that was kind of funny. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Feel free to drop any comments, questions, suggestions in the comment section below. And if you got a drop like really, really early on, it'd be interesting to hear how much you sold it for, because I didn't hear any accurate prices within the first couple hours. So if you did get a drop very early on, definitely let me know. But yeah, feel free to drop a like if you enjoyed this video, and I will see you all on Sunday for episode 17 of Old School Completionist.